But, I wanted to hear from Nunez and Connor Mitch about how they did in the scrimmage, and because these are two guys that's going to play. Perry Arthur and Michael Skarnek is not going to play. But here's what Connor Mitch and Lorenzo Nunez, I get that name out, had to say after the scrimmage.
It was good to get out there. It's kind of first look for everyone to see of our team. Obviously, you can tell we have a long way to go, but I feel like we can get there.
It was awesome. It was very exciting to play on William Bright Stadium with all my teammates and some of the freshmen.
Well, that was actually after Fan Day. Amber Pennycuff got out there and talked to the guys on Fan Day. But again, those two guys, it's going to come down who wants the job. I really think it's going to be a little bit of both, because when Spurrier actually talked about the guys trying to run and move around and improvise in the pocket, the only guy really that does that well, he said, was Lorenzo Nunez, that can really run. He's the athlete of the group. But they're going to have to find somebody. I mean, September the 3rd is going to be pretty quick.
Exactly. And I think that, it's not that Connor Mitch can't run. He's just not going to be able to run like Nunez. And I think that in today's world of college football, as we saw last year with the University of Alabama and Blake Sims, man, if you're kind of scraping together a quarterback scenario and you got to go with a guy, getting the guy that can run is not a bad deal. I just don't think Nunez coming in the summer instead of in the spring, had he been here in the spring, it may be a different story, but he just does not have the reps yet to where the game hasn't slowed down for him. You could tell, some of the passes he throws, he has the best arm on the team. He's the best runner on the team. He's the most talented. He's the biggest quarterback on the team. There's nothing wrong with him physically and nothing wrong with him as far as talent goes. He's just not ready, and I don't think he'll be ready by September 3rd. Now, will he be ready by September 26th, 28th, October? Maybe so, but right now I'm with you. I think it's got to be Mitch. I think you coach him up. You put in things he can do well. You run the football, and then you bring Nunez along and see what happens.
We got to let him play. All right, when we come back, we'll flip the script, if you will. We'll talk a little bit of defense. JC wrote in thebigspur.com, boy, he's impressed after one scrimmage. We'll talk about the defense when we come back. Wow. You're watching ChalkTalk, presented by United Auto Sales. Welcome back to Gamecock Chalk Talk. Corey Miller now joined by Spurs and Feathers' very own Brian Hand, and he's repping the gear. He's got the colors on, the garnet in black. He even got the logo, the board of directors of the Gamecock Club. I knew you were big time. I knew you were big time. When I reached out to you about being a part of this show, I was like, I only deal with big time people, you and JC. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Board of directors.
You need to go another way. I'm glad that I got to be involved. But yeah, no, we actually had a board of directors meeting the other day that I got to cover right before the scrimmage. And it was really nice having all the Gamecock Club people there. Chris Fulmer, I don't know if you've ever met Chris Fulmer, Ultimate Tailgaters, National Championship with Tailgaters. Hooked up some barbecue, and it was good.
I didn't get the invite.
Yeah. Well, you weren't around. I think you were out of town.
I was down in T-Town, Tuscaloosa, my sons. But but good weekend overall for the Gamecocks. Scrimmage, pretty much guys came out not hurt. They're pretty healthy. Normally we talk about guys that are injured. Only really one guy that we talk about, the little D, I should say. Right?
Yeah, we talked about little Dixon 44, and we talked to him last week after practice, and he says that if it happened, if they played today, he could probably go. So I think he really feels like that he's ready, and he says he feels like that. The North Carolina game, he could play. So, we'll have to see how that works out. But, then you got Taylor Stallworth. He hasn't even really been involved at all. He keeps getting hurt. But, other than that, knock on wood for the Gamecocks, they've been pretty lucky in there. And you mentioned after any scrimmage, that's what you want.
Yeah, you want to come out of that pretty healthy. Yeah. Now, yesterday was Fan Day, and again, I remember those about, a couple of years back when I played, and fans get a chance to come out and get the autographs and that type of thing. You get little cute kids. Like, that's right, thumbs up to you there, sir, rocking the Under Armour. But that had to be a great time for the players and the coaches to get a chance to kind of have that one-on-one with it's bright in the building. The ball coach got his shades on.
He took them off. He did, but yeah, it was. There was, the amazing part to me is that you walk in and there's thousands of people waiting outside just to even get in to get the Gamecock fans. To get the Gamecocks autographs, and they had them separated by position. You had the quarterbacks, your linebackers. You had Coach Spurrier line, which went out the door obviously, and everybody he was signing autographs, taking pictures. Obviously, everybody wanted Pharaoh Cooper's autograph, but just another good time. I was talking to Ray Tanner at the event. To him, he said what it shows is consistency. Is that before it was off 11 in 2 seasons. Now Gamecock fans are still showing up in thousands just because they know that this team could be good. There's some good things out there, and they want to know who these players are, and so they want to get involved.
Well, what's used to be bad. Like the good players have longer lines than the coach, and then you got players that don't have such long lines. You feel bad for those guys. Like a lot of folks, sometimes even the walk-ons, guys don't really know who they are. But nonetheless, the Gamecocks are showing up despite the 7-6 record last year. Now that being said, school's getting ready to start back this week. The schedule's got to be tweaked and changed with the preseason. How's that going to affect some guys now going to class and learning how to practice, especially the young guys, because now this is a whole nother different level for them.
It's a whole new ball game. I mean, the last, all summer when you're in just doing the workouts, you're worrying about getting ready for preseason. And then you get to preseason, you focus just on football. Now school's coming in the fold. Now you got to be a student athlete and take care of your football business. So tonight is their first practice at night, and then and then tomorrow they'll go in the morning. Wednesday they'll go in the morning, and then Thursday they're off because school starts actually on Thursday, and then Friday basically you're on the regular schedule going forward. I mean we're probably less than a week away from North Carolina game planning, so it's getting closer.
When you say game plan, that means we need to know the quarterback is. So is there any indication when he will name the starter for the North Carolina game, or will he wait till that week leading up that week to announce that, hey, Connor Mitch is probably going to start the game, which I'm thinking that's going to be the case, being that he's going back to his state and starting as a quarterback for the Gamecocks. Mitch's got some extra motivation, right, to be the quarterback.
Why not Farrah Cooper? I mean, you can go down the line. Lorenz Bryant, who's from Charlotte. So there's a lot of guys from the North Carolina area that are pretty excited about that. But yeah, he noted the other day. I mean, we talk about this every day with him, but he noted after the scrimmage the other day that they got to start whittling down a little bit, do more than an educated guess, and maybe get to, as JC alluded to, 2.5 quarterbacks. With that half, I guesstimate that's probably Nunez as well. But and then get to those 2.5, and then figure out from there. So. You would think before they start game planning they would know that area, but that's why they get paid the big bucks.
Well, I think that half could be Farrah Cooper.
It could be.
Yeah, I think.
But Nunez gives you the ability to use Farrah Cooper in other ways as well.
True.
So you will see Farrah Cooper back there at some point.
Right.
There's no doubt.
Your best player on the team has to get the ball as many touches as he can. He's Brian Hand of Spurs and Feathers. Look him up at Spurs Feathers on Twitter. When we come back, I'm gonna tell you who I think should be the quarterback, the receiver, the secondary, and the coach of certain positions. I'll tell you that after the break.